of a evolution in the Sharia also. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been changing the rules from time to time. And this is called nasakh, abrogation. And this nasakh is present in Quran also. In the beginning, some commandment was given. There was a commandment, keep standing throughout the night, at least 1/3 of it. Ya ayyuhal muzammil, qumil layla illa qalila, nisfahu wa binqus minhu qalila, aw zid alayhi wa rattilil Qur'ana tartila. Keep standing for the half or 2/3 or at least 1/3 of the night. Then it was abrogated. You can't continue with it. It's beyond your power. So actually there are changes during the Sharia of Muhammad, the evolution of the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is why I said that the blueprint of the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam we find in Surah Al-Baqarah, then gradually developed into the final form, and that we shall find in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Ma nansakh min ayatin, we don't abrogate any ayah of ours, aw nunsiha, or cause it to be forgotten. Na'ti bi khairin minha, we bring a better one or similar to it, aw misliha. Alam ta'lam anna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Don't you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all powerful? He has the authority to do whatever he likes. Alam ta'lam anna Allah lahu mulku samawati wal ard. Don't you know that all the kingdom and sovereignty of the heavens and the earth belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا لَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ مِن وَلِيٍّ وَلَا نَصِيرٍ. And you don't have, and you will not find, besides Allah, any of your wali. Who is wali? Protector or guardian. Nor you will find any helper. No wali except Allah, no guardian except Allah, no protector except Allah, no helper except Allah. أَمْ تُرِيدُونَ أَن تَسْأَلُوا رَسُولَكُمْ كَمَا سُئِلَ مُوسَى مِن قَبْلُ. Do you, O Muslims, want to ask your Rasul, just as was asked from Moses alayhi salatu wasalam before this? وَمَنْ يَتَبَدَّلِ الْكُفْرَ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. Whosoever exchanges kufr in place of iman, so he has gone astray from the right path. This ayah can be addressed to the Muslims as well as the Jews. Because the Jews demanded from Moses alayhi salatu wasalam, as we read yesterday, لَن نُؤْمِنَ لَكَ حَتَّى نَرَى اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً. We are not going to believe in you unless you show us Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we see Him with our eyes, plainly. So they were making such demands from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also. So are you repeating the same? Is history repeating itself? Do you want to demand from Muhammad also the same thing as you demanded from Moses alayhi salatu wasalam? Secondly, this ayah can be related to the Muslims also, because it is not liked that you go into very finer details of these laws, asking question, if this happens, what will I do? If this thing happens, what shall I do? So asking these questions was forbidden, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He has given some commands and He wants to limit that law to those details, the rest, He has left to you. But if you go on asking and asking and asking, so your freedom will become smaller and smaller and smaller. And you will have more and more and more of burden on you of Sharia. So this is something which a man, as if he is adding to his burdens when he is asking questions unnecessarily. There is an example that when, this was declared that every Muslim who can afford, it is a farz, it is a duty to perform Hajj. Now somebody stood up and asked, sir, is it imperative and farz to do the Hajj every year? The Prophet just kept quiet. He turned his face, didn't give any reply. He again came to that side. Ya Rasulullah, I asked the question, is performing Hajj necessary, farz every year? Again the Prophet, kept quiet. For the third time he again asked. Then the Prophet was angry. He angrily replied, if I say yes, it will become imperative for all times to come for every Muslim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want to put burden on you. And you want to add to your burdens. So that can also be in the background of this ayah. أَمْ تُرِيدُونَ أَن تَسْأَلُوا رَسُولَكُمْ كَمَا سُئِلَ مُوسَى مِن قَبْلُ وَمَنْ يَتَبَدَّلِ الْكُفْرَ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَوْ يَرُدُّونَكُم مِّن بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا. Many among the people of the book, that is the Christians and the Jews, they very much like and desire that they take you back from Iman and make you kafir again, make you disbelievers again. Hasadam min indi anfusihim. Out of jealousy only. They know that you are now in a better position. You are in a better place. You are in Iman. But out of jealousy, they don't want to accept Iman themselves. But they want that you should also be deprived of this blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hasada min indi anfusihim. Min ba'de ma tabayyana lahumul haqq. After that, the haqq, the truth, has been made clear to them. And they clearly recognize the truth. Fa'fu wasfahu. So, keep on forgiving them and ignoring them. It was actually a very basic policy matter that the Prophet ﷺ also wanted, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also given the same instruction here, that after Hijrah, the Prophet wanted ﷺ, and Allah also gave the same direction, to try to have peace with these people, these Jews at Medina. Because now the struggle was to start against the people of Mecca. So don't start any other dispute and conflict as far as possible at Medina. So actually, go on forgiving. Go on ignoring them. Don't argue with them. Don't, in every matter, question them. So that was the matter of policy that was being given here. Fa'fu anhum. So you go on forgiving them for all their treacheries that is coming in your knowledge. But you just don't bring them to book. Don't investigate. Don't, argue with them. Wasfahu, and just ignore them. Hatta yati Allahu bi amrih. Till that time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings forth His final decision. Final decision will be the triumph of Islam, the superiority of Islam in the Arabian Peninsula. Then these people will also be brought to the book. Inna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir. Verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is powerful to do everything. Wa aqimu salata wa atu zakah. And you, O Muslims, establish the prayers, and you go on paying zakah. وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ. And whatsoever you send forth before you, before dying, you are sending these charities and good deeds of yours towards hereafter. That is your stock for the life hereafter. وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ. Whatever you are sending before you, you will find it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.